Hello and welcome to the Tanya Augusta Alchemy community. I'm Tanya Augusta, your alchemy coach. Today is part 2 of why you are stuck in fatigue. So if you haven't already, I recommend you go back to the part 1 or definitely finish that after this one so that you get the full scope of all the different reasons why you might be stuck in low energy. And these are definitely things that we don't normally think of, or you'll be seeing things from a different vantage point. Remember, I am a Chinese medical practitioner and alchemy coach and holistic nutrition coach. So I will be talking about things from the Chinese medicine and Western medicine perspective today. I'm going to be talking again about the organs of the kidneys and heart a lot. And I want to begin by sharing with you about how these different organs function, what they do, more from a Western standpoint a little bit today to help you understand what I want to talk about, which I want to cover 3 things today. I want to talk about toxins, first of all. Secondly, I want to talk about bad bacteria and parasites. And thirdly, your nutrient profiles. 3 things we're going to be covering that could be keeping you stuck in low fatigue. So the kidneys are the organs that they are responsible for helping eliminate the waste, and they work together with the skin, which is ruled by the lungs in Chinese medicine, to help move the waste out of the pores of the skin through sweat and then excreting through our urine. And so when these are working properly, that water balance is working well. And when they're not, then obviously we're going to have more of an imbalance. And we can have an imbalance with our acid-base balance as well as the salt balance in the body. In Chinese medicine, we look at the different 5-element system. And so the element of water being ruled by kidneys and bladder can put out the fire element. Water puts out fire, and the heart is the fire element, as well as pericardium and small intestine. So we do want to make sure that we're keeping that balance, and the kidneys and the heart have a strong relationship. So as a reminder, the heart helps keep the blood pumping in the body. It helps bring oxygen in. It brings or helps move the nutrients around in the body. And when it's having any kind of stress, as well as when the kidneys are having stress, then they aren't going to be able to move the oxygen around. They're not going to be able to move that waste out. And again, the body will experience more fatigue. So we live in a very toxic world, unfortunately. And while I'm going to be giving you some ideas for how we can avoid toxins, it can't really be altogether avoided. And it is something that we all have to work around and deal with in this day and age. However, we definitely want to be trying to do things to make sure that we have the cleanest air possible, the cleanest water, the cleanest food, so that this can mitigate some of that. But there are, again, a lot of heavy metals in the food, water, and air, and other toxins. There's a lot of chemical additives that are in foods these days. I definitely recommend always getting organic, especially with your fruits, vegetables, and meats, and also keeping a very low amount of processed foods and sugary foods in general. And of course, increasing your fruits and vegetables. I'm going to come back to that topic when we get into the nutrient profile a little bit more. But I want to, stress that also we want to make sure that we're not having, again, too much processed foods or processed meats or too much meat, because all of that is often having a lot of chemical additives. If you're getting the organic meat, then you're not getting that. You're not getting the added hormones. So that is very important. But yeah, for all the other processed foods, we are getting that. It is burdening our kidneys and our heart and putting out that fire. Also, that fire element does end up affecting our digestion, our stomach, and our spleen organs. And so if you find yourself more tired during the time between 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., that is spleen and stomach time. That means that you have a deficiency in those, and there's a good chance that your digestive fire, that fire element, is weak, and there could be that water imbalance. And again, that could stem from stress on that heart and kidneys from this toxic overload. I want to also stress that, of course, it's very important to keep hydrated, and that if we are drinking caffeine, that the caffeine is a diuretic and it is also dehydrating. So we may want to use it or think we need it for energy, but it is actually a vicious cycle. It's not helping us, and we can get caught in a dehydration cycle that is actually causing more fatigue. So we definitely want to be drinking a minimum of half of our body weight in ounces per day. And actually, I would like that to be closer to 60% of your body weight in ounces per day, up to even 80%. So that is actually the proper amount of water, or that could be herbal tea. I love drinking herbal tea throughout the day, so I definitely recommend that. Or you can have some healthy kind of electrolyte water. But yeah, most of us run around chronically dehydrated. So that is something to keep in mind. Along with keeping those healthy foods, we want to also make sure that we are not adding to the toxins with our cookware. So definitely stay away from aluminum cookware. When you're putting your food into containers, keep away from plastic, use glass containers instead. When you are drinking from your water bottle, make sure it's like a stainless steel or a glass container rather than a plastic bottle. So the other thing I want to talk about is the bad bacteria and the parasites. It's our second thing that we want to think about today. And if you are someone that is eating more of an American standard diet, that means that you're having a lot of processed foods, not enough vegetables or fruits or whole foods, whole grains. This is definitely, again, causing that toxic burden. And what happens is that all of those foods with all those additives and all the extra sugar feeds bad bacteria and parasites in the body. And so the bad bacteria, when they are fed sugar, they continue to proliferate, and then they continue to tell our brain, because we have this gut-brain connection, they keep telling us, oh, please, feed me more of that. And so we actually have these very strong urges, these very strong food cravings to, eat these things that are not healthy and that are not beneficial. The good news is that you can eat as much fruit as you want. There is a myth in our culture that sugar in fruits are bad. So there is a fruit phobia that we have in general in our culture. And the truth is that you can eat as much fruit as you want all day long, and you're not going to gain weight. You're not going to, it's not a sugar that's going to cause an imbalance of your blood sugar levels. So, you can have 4 bananas in a day, whatever it is that you enjoy. It is okay to enjoy fruit and not worry about that sugar content, because it is fructose. It's a whole, that is the form of sugar that the body naturally creates. It's healthy. It isn't anything that you need to be worrying about. So there's actually been companies who for over 50 years now that have been working to confuse people. And, there's a lot of research on this nowadays, but, their agenda is to sell us this chemically processed food, and they make money from doing that. So please keep that in mind. And there are also a lot of parasites in people. Now, we are always going to have some bad bacteria. We're always going to have some parasites. In this time, we do have more parasites because parasites actually eat the toxins in the body. So they are having this great symbiotic relationship with us to an extent. So the parasites are necessary for us because we want them to eat those bad toxins. However, they're excreting in the body. So they are creating a sludge in the body. It is causing inflammation. It causes a lot of problems such as chronic headaches, bloat, ringing in the ears, depression, anxiety. Those are some of the more common ones. A lot of digestive, hormonal, skin issues can be caused by a parasitic overgrowth. So you can do a parasite cleanse to help assist you, and I do recommend doing this twice a year. I also lead parasite cleanses, and I have a private group. You can look below to see if I have one coming up soon that you can join. And otherwise, yes, I want you to be thinking about clearing those out. I also don't recommend eating sushi. Sorry to say, but that does also feed parasites in the body. And of course, again, my point with all the fruit was that you can eat as much fruit as you want when you're having those sugar cravings. So please, when you feel like you need to be eating some of these other things that aren't very healthy and that don't have any nutrition, and we know what those things are, occasionally it's fine to have those, but if we're having them every day, it's like, how about have some watermelon instead? How about have some mango? Whatever it is that you enjoy. The last thing I want to talk about is that a lot of times we don't have the right nutrient profile. And again, a lot of people could use more fruits and vegetables in their diet. So increasing that even just a little bit, can make a huge difference over time. You can continue to build upon that. But a lot of people are B vitamin deficient. If you're a plant-based eater, you definitely need to be taking a supplement that has B vitamins or a B complex. If you are having extremely low energy, I always want you to be on a B complex, or again, have a very high quality multivitamin with that in it, and be taking it in the morning, not before bed, because it does give you energy. So that is something to consider. I do have a multivitamin, and the link for that is below. Sorry, it's not my brand, but it is one that I recommend to my clients and I use myself. Most multivitamins aren't very high quality, but those are ones that a lot of times we're deficient in. So that is something else to consider. There's always, of course, many factors in, what different deficiencies we may have, but those are some of the main key organs and things that we want to be thinking about as far as our diet and how to keep our organs healthy and in balance, keep that nice water and fire balance in the body so we have that healthy digestion, which all of our immune system is in our gut. So again, that is going to help increase our immunity, and we always want to be considering that. Well, what did you learn today from this video? I'd love to hear if there was any new information that you hadn't thought about before. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you know some people that are stuck in fatigue, and most of us are, at least from one time to another, we all experience this as humans. Please share this with your friends, share it with your family, pass this along, and let me know what else you would like to hear about. I appreciate your presence and have a wonderful week. Thank you.